Jaya Tulsi Devi, Jaya Tulsi Devi, Jaya Tulsi Devi, Jaya Tulsi Devi. Jaya Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Satya Vajaya Namo. All right. Big crowd today. Maybe. Let's see. All right. Welcome to New Goloka. Picture me with a mask on. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Gopi Jana Malaba Giribada Dhagute Gopi Jana Balaba Girivado Dhagute Yasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tera Banachare Yamuna Tera Banachare Jai Radha Madhova Kunja Bhagavate Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bhagavate Gopi Jana Ballabha Girivada Dhagate Gopi Jana Ballabha Girivada Dhagate Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tera Banachare Yamuna Tera Banachate Jayarada Madhova Kunda Bhagavate Jayarada Madhova Kunja Bhagavate Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravidikacharya also Teta Satashi Shimad His Divine Grace Abhaya Chanana the Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radhakrishna Gopika Padath Sayam Mukunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavanam Ki Jai Vacharadam Ki Jai Jagadasami Ki Jai Yamunamai Ki Jai Shrimati Lasi Devi Ki Jai Samveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravadi Pachardi Devashesha Nirvati Pasyacha Dejataram. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, 54th chapter, text 27. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Ashtabish Jatadro Vahan Dvavyang Sutang Dvajam Trivi Sa Chanjad Danur Odaya Krishnam Vivyada Panchabi Ashtavish Chaturo Vahan Vabyam Sutam Dvajam Trivi Sachanya Danur Adaya Krishnam Vidyara Panchabi Ashtavish Chaturo Vahan Dvabyam Sutam Dvajam Trivi Sachanya Dhanuradaya Krishnam Vidyada Panchavi Ashtavish Chaturo Vahan Dvabyam Sutam Dvajam Trivi Sachanya Dhanuradaya Krishnam Vidyada Panchavi V. Ladies. Okay. Ashtavi with 8 arrows. Chatudaha, the 4. Vahan, horses. Dwabhyam with 2. Sutam, the chariot driver. Dwajam, the flagpole. Trivi with 3. Sa, he, Rukmi. Cha, and. Anyat, another. Danu, bow. Adaya, taking up. Krishnam, Krishna. Vivyada, pierced. Panchabi, with 5. Translation: the Lord struck Rukmi's 4 horses with 8 arrows, his chariot driver with 2, and the chariot's flag with 3. Rukmi grabbed another bow and struck Lord Krishna with 5 arrows. So you can repeat. The Lord struck Rukmi's 4 horses with 8 arrows, his chariot driver with 2, and the chariot's flag with 3. Rukmi grabbed another bow and struck Lord Krishna with 5 arrows. So, let's see. I'll read Jiva Goswami's commentary because there's no commentary by the followers of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. So it's pretty much explanatory. Krishna struck each of the 4 horses with 2 arrows to injure their 2 front feet. He shot 2 arrows at the driver to pierce his 2 hands. With 3 arrows, he pierced the insignia of the flag on the pole. He did this to comfort Rukmini. So these are very just descriptive verses, not much. I mean, it's philosophy, of course, because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and He's defeating the infidels. But in any case, we're just going to continue reading till we get something that's of more philosophical import. So text 28. Taistadi sharo gaistu chicheda danu rachuta punaranyadu padata tad apyachinat avyaya. Although hit by these many arrows, Lord Achyuta again broke Rukmi's bow. Rukmi picked up yet another bow, but the infallible Lord broke that one to pieces. So just one thing, as the Acharyas mentioned, that infallible means he did not move from that spot. So, text 29. Prigam patisham shulam charmasi shakti tomarao yajadayudam adatta tatsavam sochinadari. Iron bludgeon, 3-pointed spear, sword and shield, pike, javelin, whatever weapon Rukmi picked up, Lord Hari smashed to bits. So basically, it's the commentaries here, the Acharyas are pretty much explaining the verse. So we're going to go ahead. Tato ratadava plutya akadgapanir jigam siha Krishnam abhyadravat kruda patanga iva pavakam. Then Rukmi leaped down from his chariot and sword in hand rushed furiously toward Krishna to kill him just like a bird flying into the wind. And Sanatana Goswami says because Rukmi's weapons were destroyed, he was like a bird flying into the wind going towards his death. Text 31. Tasha chapatata kadgam tilashas charma cheshubhi chitvasim adate tigmam rukmenam hantum udyata. As Rukmi attacked him, the Lord shot arrows that broke Rukmi's sword and shield into small pieces. Krishna then took up his own sharp sword and prepared to kill Rukmi. So that's nothing to be said about that verse. So the next verse is what we're going to talk about. Text 32. Drisvabratrir vadhold yogam Rukmini vaya vivala patitva padehor vartu uvacha karunam sati. Seeing Lord Krishna ready to kill her brother, saintly Rukmini was filled with alarm. She fell at her husband's feet and piteously spoke as follows. So this is interesting verse. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments, "What will people think if they know that my brother was killed before my eyes?" In other words, she's thinking of herself, reputation right now. So we're going to talk about reputation. She was filled with fear because of this, not out of affection for her brother. The prema of the city women is dependent on public opinion. Samanjasa, prema, proper love. Whereas the prema of the gopis is not dependent at all on the opinion of the public. Samartha, prema, and is much stronger. However, one should not worry that the general definition of prema, that is, exclusive possessiveness of Vishnu and no one else, does not apply to Rukmini and other women. since they did not have genuine affection for Rukmi and other demons. This will be explained in detail later. And actually, Jiva Goswami goes a little bit different angle of vision. Somehow or other, by fate, Rukmi had become her brother. Seeing Krishna about to kill him, she became unsteady with fear out of compassion or because people would blame her. It is proper to kill such an evil person. But she was very learned, Sati, she considered. This low fellow cannot do anything to the Lord. This miserable person acts out of ignorance like a sick person. Therefore, it is proper that Krishna show mercy to him, since he is related to me and I have surrendered to him. Krishna thought as follows: he cannot do anything to me, that is true, but how can I tolerate his desire to cause her difficulties? Though I save his life on her request, I will always have the desire to crush this person with evil intentions. So, Om Ganat Tividanda Shah Gananjana Shilakaya Chakshur Unmeritam Yena Tasmai Shigurve Namaha. So, here we find Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur talking about Rukmini as being concerned about her reputation. Now, as we've oftentimes been informed, what profit, adoration, distinction are symptoms of subtle what? Anyone know? Subtle sex life. So what's going on here? She is a pure devotee. She has prema. So what's going on? We have to understand that Rukmini is married at this particular point and getting married to Krishna. So this means that she is going to be the queen. And when one has a position in society like queen, like sannyasi, then one has to be concerned about reputation. It is not a bad sign. For example, in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, we have Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very much concerned with his reputation. I mean, he would often say if the public sees a spot or a fault in a sannyasi, it is like seeing a spot on a white sheet. You know, it's just like, oh my God. Now, if you have a black sheet, or a sheet that's, of course, black, you could also see colors on too. But let's say you have something that's contrasting with the spot. Then, oh my God, then you don't notice things, do you? You don't notice them as much. Just like if you have a multicolored sari there. So if there's a spot on it, I'm not going to notice it. But I have a one color here, there'll be a spot. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I'll tell some stories about how he was so concerned. Once upon a time, he had a great devotee named Jagadananda Pandit. And Jagadananda Pandit was always trying to make life comfortable for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to show the topmost example of renunciation, as described by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Vairagya Vidya Neja Bhakti Yoga Shiksharta Eka Purusha Purana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shrira Dari Kripam Buddhir Yastvam Aham Prapadye. Lord Chaitanya has come to teach renunciation from everything not favorable to devotional service and also knowledge. So, Jagadananda Pandit had several plans for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One plan was that when he was traveling, he collected quite a bit of sandalwood oil. And with the sandalwood oil, he thought, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu should accept it, and he should rub it on his body. When he's taking a massage. Interesting thing is, like when Prabhupada took a massage, sometimes he used sandalwood oil, and sometimes he used mustard oil. He used sandalwood oil when it was cooling, and mustard oil mustard oil, when it was actually sandalwood oil would cool and mustard oil would heat. So, so basically, he brought Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu this sandalwood oil, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you know, if I use the sandalwood oil, people would call me a Dari sannyasi. That means a sannyasi who keeps women. You know, because actually, you know, if you come across the sannyasi is perfumed, it would not be so good. People would criticize, you know, what's he doing? And people generally, they do criticize, just like in Pundarik Vijayaniti, even though he wasn't a sannyasi, when Gadadhar Pandit Goswami came across Pundarik Vijayaniti, even as a householder, was seated on an opulent bedstead with his hair slicked back with oil, and Gadadhar Pandit Goswami actually criticized him in his mind. And of course, later on, Gadadhar Pandit Goswami realized Pundarik Vijayaniti's exalted position, and then later on took initiation from him. So anyway, so Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I can't accept this. And Jagadananda Pandit got so frustrated that he said, who said that I brought you sandalwood oil? And then he took this big jug of sandalwood oil and smashed it. Because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted it given to Lord Jagannath instead. So there's one example of Jagadananda Pandit. Another example is Jagadananda Pandit wanted to give Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a soft bed to lie down on, because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was lying down on the floor of the Gambhira, and of course he was getting sores and everything like that. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu refused to accept that too. Eventually, Swarup Damodar Goswami took some of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's old clothes and tore up some old banana plants or leaves or something like that and put them in the old clothes, so Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had some sort of cushion. Another example in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes is that when all the devotees were trying to convince Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to see King Prataparuja, because King Prataparuja was a great devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they were extolling the qualities, the devotional qualities of King Prataparuja, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you know, people will make fun of me. You know, he may be a great devotee, but just because he has the name king, a sannyasi is not supposed to associate with kings. Of course, we say for preaching Krishna consciousness, sometimes even sannyasis, like Prabhupada, of course, he wanted to see the Prime Minister of India, and he saw so many political figures, and Prabhupada was enthusiastic to meet so many prominent Pound, shilling, and pence men and women for the purpose of preaching Krishna consciousness. But this wasn't for the purpose of preaching. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu refused to see King Prataparuja to protect his reputation. Eventually, of course, there is actually one time when King Prataparuja, dressed as a king, actually got a chance to render service to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reacted in a very negative fashion. That's when Lord Chaitanya was dancing in front of Lord Jagannath, and he fainted and fell to the ground, and nobody else was around. And King Prataparuja came up and picked him up, kept him from falling to the ground. And Lord Chaitanya expressed, "Ugh! Person has touched me," because he was showing an example of a sannyasi and also protecting the reputation. Of course, later on, King Prataparuja did get a chance to associate very intimately with Lord Chaitanya at the Gundicha temple in the garden, when King Prataparuja dressed like a regular Vaishnava, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was resting after the kirtan, and King Prataparuja got a chance to massage Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, recite part of the Bhagavatam. So ultimately, he did, in disguise, get a chance to associate with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, so we see that reputation is extremely important when one has a responsibility. And of course, my favorite example of this is Lord Ramchandra. When Lord Ramchandra heard that people were criticizing, at least the washerman, was criticizing him for accepting Sita Devi back when she had been with Ravana for such a long period of time. Then to keep his reputation for his service, it's not simply interested in reputation for reputation's sake, profit, adoration, distinction. You keep the reputation for service, then he actually did something that was extremely painful. And as we know, he sent Sita Devi away. And so for the rest of the time when Lord Ramchandra was ruling Ayodhya, Sita Devi wasn't there, just for the sake of keeping reputation. So my understanding of Rukmini's trying to save her brother and being interested in her reputation was because she was going to be the queen, and it was very important for her and her service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, to have a good reputation. Now, on the other hand, there's the contrast with the gopis, and I wanted to read some verses about this. Of course, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur makes some reference to this in his verse, but and there are, actually before I start talking about that, there are certain times when even a devotee is concerned about reputation when it's not in accordance with service. And that's in the case of Yudhisthira Maharaj, who was told by Krishna to lie during the battle of Kurukshetra that Ashwatthama was dead, and he was concerned with his reputation of keeping himself as a truthful person. And because of that desire for reputation was, of course it's a pastime. I'm not criticizing Yudhisthira Maharaj, but what this pastime illustrates that because of that desire for his reputation and ignoring Krishna's will in that particular case, his chariot from that point forward, and he himself always touched the ground, and previously he didn't touch the ground. So there was a reaction to that. So he disobeyed the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead for the consideration of reputation. So sometimes it's not that a devotee should always say, I'm interested in my reputation, but that actually has to be concerned somehow or other with the service. So now let's contrast now Rukmini's position with that of the gopis in Vrindavan, which is actually what the commentaries talked about. How the gopis in Vrindavan were not interested at all in their reputation because their reputation had nothing to do with their service. They renounced everything. But that absolute renunciation is only present within the gopis. In other words, giving up every aspect of culture, every aspect of material opulence to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the exclusive prerogative or position of the residents of Vrindavan, specifically the gopis. And those who are attached to their particular positions, then they cannot enter into Vrindavan. And this is brought out in the story of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's discussion with Venkatabhata in Srirangam. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent 4 months of the rainy season in Srirangam. And because it was the rainy season, he had to remain in one place. And so he lived with Venkatabhata, who was adherent of the Ramanuja Sampradaya and very much interested in worshiping Lakshmi and Narayan. So during this particular time, he had this elaborate discussion with Venkatabhata about the position of Lakshmi. I mean, just to give a summary of that discussion, is he said, your Lakshmi is supposed to be the most chaste lady in creation, yet she performed austerities for millions of years to have the association of Krishna in Vrindavan. And Venkatabhata knew the answer to this. He said, actually, she's still chaste because Krishna in Vrindavan is the pastime expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Narayan. So she hasn't broken her vow of chastity. Yes, but Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, but in spite of performing austerities for thousands or millions of years, she still was not able to enter into the rasa dance or enter into the intimate pastimes of Vrindavan. And Venkatabhata responded, he said, this is a great mystery. I don't know the answer to this. Why? And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu responded by explaining that it's because Lakshmi was attached to her position. And I'm going to read a verse here. This is a verse that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recited to Venkatabhata. Lakshmi, the consort of Lord Narayan, desired with all of her heart to join, this is actually in the Bhagavatam, to join the rasa dance, but all the austerities she performed to gain this privilege proved futile. And this Uddhava sings in the Srimad Bhagavatam, when Lord Sri Krishna was dancing with the gopis at the Rasa Leela, the gopis were embraced by the arms of the Lord. This transcendental favor was never bestowed upon the goddess of fortune or other consorts in the spiritual world. I'm not going to read the whole comment here. And then Prabhupada, in a lecture which has been written down on the journey of self-discovery, talks about the gopis' exalted position, being ready to surrender everything, and not being attached to any sort of opulence. There's a quote from Prabhupada. The gopis are another example of great eagerness to see Krishna. The gopis came to Krishna being captivated by his beautiful features. They were young girls, and Krishna was so beautiful. Actually, they were lusty when they came to Krishna, but Krishna is so pure that they became first-class devotees. There's no comparison to the gopis' devotion because they love Krishna with heart and soul. That is the qualification. They love Krishna so much, they didn't care for family or reputation when they went out in the dead of night. Krishna's flute was sounding. They were all fleeing their homes. Their fathers, their brothers, their husbands all said, where are you going? Where are you going in this dead of night? But the gopis didn't care. They neglected their children, their family, everything. That's the price to enter into Vrindavan. Their only thought was, we must go to Krishna. And then Prabhupada comments, this is all Prabhupada's statement. This eagerness is required. So in other words, Prabhupada's applying it to us too. Because many of us have different desires, like for our reputation, position, or different types of sense gratification. But Prabhupada, we have to be ready just to relinquish these to enter into Vrindavan, if Krishna wants. This is the price. And Prabhupada talks about it. This eagerness is required. We must be very eager to see Krishna. Many gopis who were forcibly stopped from going to Krishna lost their lives because of their great feelings of separation. So this eagerness is wanted. Then you can see God. This is renunciation, this eagerness. Whether you are lusty or a thief or a murderer or whatever it may be, somehow or other, you must develop this eagerness, this desire. I must see Krishna. Then Krishna will be seen. In other words, relinquish. Got to be careful. Relinquish every other consideration. I must see Krishna. And of course, in the Krishna consciousness movement, that means to try to please His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada didn't want us running around, hey Radhe, Braja Devake, hey Nanda, Shuno Gutta, like the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. In our hearts, yes. But practically, that means doing what's necessary to please Krishna's pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada. All right. Then Krishna will be seen. The first thing Krishna is looking for is how eager you are to see. The first thing Krishna is looking for. Krishna will respond. If you are actually eager to see Krishna, whether you are lusty or you want to steal his ornaments, or some way or other, you become attracted to Krishna, then it is sure your efforts will be successful. That reminds me of the story of, which had nothing to do with today's topic. But anyway, one of my godbrothers who just passed away, his name was Haridas. And he came to the movie because he saw a picture of Prabhupada. He saw Prabhupada had an opulent wristwatch on. And he came to Prabhupada, and, he was lusty, I guess, to steal the wristwatch. And then, Prabhupada received him. And Prabhupada was so gracious that he actually became a great devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, just passed away and went back to back to Godhead. So it's the question of eagerness. Akama sarvakama mokshakama dara tivrena bhakti yugena yajeta purusham param. And that eagerness is manifest by our nirapeksha, are disinterested in things like reputation, friends, possessions. That's the price, loyum. There's some more quotes from Prabhupada here. There are many, this is from a Srimad Bhagavatam class, there are many other devotees also, just they, the gopis, for Krishna's sake, they sacrificed everything, their reputation, their family, their husband, father, brother. No, Krishna is now playing his flute. He wants to dance with it. Let us go there. Father is asking, where are you going? Brother is, where are you going? Are you going to Krishna? This is called Krishna consciousness. Yeva Maishe Krita Soradarta. One is not interested in anything else. He is only interested in Krishna. And then Prabhupada quotes the nutshell verse from the Nectar Devotion. Anyabhilashita Shunyam Yanakarmanam Pratam Anukulyena Krishna Nushilanam Bhakti Uttamam. Okay, and so I just want to take questions right now. I have more quotes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, she was suspected by her in-laws. Oh, yeah. I mean, there were all sorts of rumors going around. Yeah, I think the reputation was. Excuse me. She obviously didn't wear a scarlet letter, but there were all sorts of suspicions about her. In other words, she wasn't interested in it. Whether she lost her reputation or not, she had no interest in it. Because they went out to Krishna in the dead of night. Similarly, not only the gopis, the Yajnik Brahmana's wives, they just ignored their husbands and went to bring prasad or bhoga to Krishna. Apurvaji, you had a question? That's a quote from Prabhupada, yeah. I don't know. You have to ask them. They just left. I mean, they didn't feel they had to give any explanation. Confirmed. Okay, on that happy note.
Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalen Priya Priti Manti Vasyan Dipan Dikayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami 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 Govindam Adi Purusham Janamagoinu Manusha Janamabhaya Radha Krishna Nabajiya Janamabhaya Radha Krishna Nabajiya Manusha Janamabhaya Radha Krishna Nabhajiya Najanamabhaya Radha Krishna Nabhajiya Janiya Shuniya Visha Kainu Janiya Suniya Vishakoinu Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana Ratina Janmiloke Nitaya Ratina Janmilo Kenetaya Janmilo Kenetaya Samsara Vishanale Divanishi Ajvale Judai tena koinu paya Brajendra Nandana Sachi Sutta Hoilo Se Sachi Sutta Hoilo Se Balarama Hoilo Nitai Dina Hina Yata Chila Harinama Darilo Yata Chila Harinama Darilo Tara Shakshi Jagai Madai Jagai Madai Tara Shakshi Jagai Madai Ha ha Prabhu Nanda Sutta Vrishabhanu Sutta Yuta Sutta Vrishabhanu Sutta Yuta Karuna Koro Ebaro Narottama Dasakaya Natali Horanga Paya Madasa Kaya Natali Horanga Paya Toma Bine Keache Amara Toma bine que ache amara Hari Hari Vipale Janama Gonaenu Vipale Janama Gonaenu Jaya Radha Goloka Nanda Radha Goloka Nanda Shri Radhe Radha Goloka Nanda Radha Goloka Nanda Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Goloka Nanda Radha Goloka Nanda Shri Radhe Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Shri Vrindavan Dham Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Vishnu Padmanabha Acharya's Divine Grace of Bhacharana Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Kiri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Shri Mathura Dham Ki Jai Shri Jagannath Swami Ki Jai Shri Ganga Mai Ki Jai Shri Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shri Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai Samaveda Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai All glories to the assembled devotees All glories to the assembled devotees All glories to the assembled devotees All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. O Lord Hari, I have wasted my life. Although I have taken this rare human birth, I have not served Radha and Krishna, and thus I have knowingly drunk poison. The treasure of divine love in Goloka Vrindavan had descended as the congregational chanting of Lord Hari's holy names. Why did my attraction for that chanting never come about? Day and night my heart burns in the fire of the poison of worldliness, and I have not accepted the means for relieving it. Lord Krishna, the son of the king of Braja, became the son of Sachi, and Balaram became Nitai. The holy name delivered all those souls who were lowly and wretched. The two sinners, Jagai and Madai, are evidence of this. O Lord Krishna, son of Nanda, accompanied by the daughter of Rishabhanu, please be merciful to me now. Narottama Das says, O Lord, please do not push me away from your reddish lotus feet, for who is my beloved except for you? Narottama Das Thakur Ki Jai. Jito Darpana Marjanam Madhavagni Nirvahanam
Javadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipanam Pranamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapitani Amita Smaranena Kala Etadrishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajjani Nanuraga Trinadapi Sunichena Charorapi Suhishuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Va Jagadisha Kamae Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhakti Rohoitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Buddha Kripayatava Bada Pankaja Stita Duli Sadrashim Vachintaya Nayanam Gadashu Daraya Varanam Gadgadaradaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanama Grahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Nimishena Chakshusha Pravashayanam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishiva Padamratam Panastumam Adarshanam Marma Hatakarotuva Yatatatava Vidadatu Lampato Mat Prananatastusa Eva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth. O Sadamaraj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Oh, my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? Oh, Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes.